Week 2 of the NFL season is referred to by sports bettors as overreaction week. We try not to overreact to the results we just saw in week 1. That could be challenging here, though, in a matchup between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals lost outright against the Patriots, and they were the biggest favorite on the board in week 1. Kansas City took care of business against Baltimore. So does this set up perfectly for a play on the Bengals? We're going to talk about it, but before we do, I got to tell you about a promotion we have available right now at wagertalk.com. For a limited time, you can get all sports, all access, 7 days, only $99. And that's not just with myself, but also the Bad Lieutenant, Ross Benjamin, the most popular personality here at Wager Talk TV. 2 cappers for the price of 1. As always, though, there's no purchase necessary, no pressure to buy anything. You're more than welcome to tune in just for the free picks. The only thing I ask from you is that you take the time to smash that like button, and that will allow me to keep on putting out these videos. Now let's get into the game. The Kansas City Chiefs will be a 6-point favorite. The total sits at 47.5. I mentioned overreaction week, and the logic there is that you're going to see a team lose in week 1. Bettors are going to react to that, and you'll get better value by betting on teams that didn't look good in week 1 or betting against teams that did look good. And we're going to dig into that and see if we can follow that logic. Let's start with Kansas City Chiefs. They did look good in their win against Baltimore. If we're looking for reasons to criticize them, you could look at the box score and see total yards. Baltimore outgained them by almost 100 yards, 452 to 353. You look at the numbers Lamar Jackson put up. He had 273 passing yards and 122 rushing yards. So Baltimore's offense certainly did enough to win, but they only managed 20 points, and at the end of the day, that wasn't enough. But I would say that as far as the systems play for overreaction week, that does tick that box. You look at the previous history between these two teams, the high-profile matchup between Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes as starting quarterbacks, 2 of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. The Bengals have actually won 3 of those games outright. There's been 4 meetings. Cincinnati winning 3 of the games outright. The 1 loss in the AFC Championship game in 2023 by a score of 23-20. So the previous history also indicates that we got a good play on Cincinnati here, plus the 6. And this is a good example of why I don't play systems plays and why I insist on breaking down every aspect of the game, continuing to dig. And another example of when people drop comments below the videos, which I encourage them to do, but when they say things like, I'm not going to lay road chalk, or back-to-back road games, it's a fade for me, or using one criteria to make a blanket statement on a game without really analyzing it is setting a better up for failure. And I think if you're playing Cincinnati here, that might be the case, and we'll get into that. You look at Joe Burrow in week 1, he throws for 164 yards, 21 of 19 passing, obviously very accurate, but the yards per pass, 5.7 yards per attempt, that is not good. But the big problem is you see the footage of him sitting on the sidelines, holding his wrist, shaking his hand, appearing that that injury that he suffered last year is not, it hasn't repaired itself. And that's a big concern, and that will prevent me from backing Cincinnati in this game in a situation otherwise where I would. If it wasn't for that footage of Burrow grabbing his wrist, I would be on this game. I'd be on Cincinnati. But I'm here in this video to talk you off that play. Now, maybe he gets a cortisone shot and he's okay, but I don't want to bet on that. There's other reasons I don't like Cincinnati. I don't like the idea that they got rid of Joe Mixon. He's lighting it up in Houston. And they got Zach Moss, who's basically a career backup in the running back position. That's going to hurt them. Not a big fan of Cincinnati's head coach, despite the fact that he has had success in this matchup. So if we're not going to play Cincinnati, does that mean we're going to play Kansas City? No, I'm not going to go that route either. If you need action on this game, I'm going to suggest you take the total with the under 47.5. The other trend in those 4 head-to-head meetings between Mahomes and Burrow is that 3 of those 4 games went under the number. Kind of counterintuitive in a matchup between 2 of the best quarterbacks in the game. 8 of the last 10 head-to-head meetings between these teams have gone under the total. Both these defenses look good enough, and if Burrow is injured, Cincinnati is not going to be piling up the points. So The play for this video is going to be on under 47.5. If you like this video, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you got anything to say to me, even if it's nasty, you hit me up in those comments below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.